Wow, how the playoff landscape gets altered in one day. We learned earlier today that Steph Curry's going to miss at least a couple of weeks, that Chris Paul breaks his hand, Blake Griffin aggravates the left quad injury. Man, it's still just round one. Inside the NBA coming up next here on TNT. Highlights of all the games. These guys will pick them apart. The latest on Chris Paul. We got it all next. Inside the NBA is presented by Kia. We are live in Atlanta, Studio J. Another playoff night in the books. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley on a night when the Clippers lose the game and lose their point guard. We'll get into all that in 1 second. Tuesday night, we hit the air at dinner time, 6 o'clock. Pacers and the Raptors, followed by the Celtics and the Hawks. A couple of series tied up at 2 games apiece in the East. Now, Chris Paul's situation. He slaps with the left hand, but it's not the left hand he hurts, it's the right hand right here. It hits Henderson in the back.
Kenny were talking about that, Ernie. Got caught in that jersey.
Yeah.
And Kenny said it happened to him twice in his career.
Twice in the same year, my rookie year.
And you broke your hand?
I broke my metatarsal right here, my ring finger on both hands.
Third metatarsal, same thing that Chris Paul has in the right hand. Without him, in the regular season, they've gone 25 and 21. In the playoffs, 1-1. He missed the first 2 games against Houston in the Western Conference semis last year. Remember that series that he did come back? Clippers had a 3-1 lead, and the Rockets beat him and went to the Western Conference Finals. Yes, Shaq.
The third metacarpal is the middle finger, sir.
Middle, okay.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you.
I thought we had discussed the ring finger.
Yeah, but I did it.
It's the middle finger.
I did it on separate hands the same year. It was incredible. I got in both times. I got it caught in a jersey, and I believe I can't remember honestly, but I believe I was out maybe 4 to 6 weeks, and came back, but in about 4 to 6 weeks.
But there's no way. I mean, you talk about.
Oh, you can't play.
No way.
No, you can't play.
Well, Ernie,
you can't catch a basketball. So
you definitely can't dribble. And Ernie, the bad thing about it now, this opens this series up.
Without question.
I heard everybody talking about this open up before Chris got hurt and Blake got hurt. Everybody was talking about Golden State could they beat the Clippers in the next round. Now,
and I knew right away.
Now the Blazers,
he knew right away. You know right away because your hand, you can't bend your finger. It's like, wait a minute, you can't even bend it because it's broken. So you can't bend it and turn it and move it the way it normally has. He knew right away what was happening. And you hit a snap just like that.
And not only Chris Paul, now you got Blake Griffin, who missed more than half the season with the left quad injury, and then you see him on the bench late in the game and favoring that same area again.
The Golden State Warriors right now are probably, you don't ever want to see anybody get hurt, but this puts them in a very unique, great situation, but let's be honest, because with no Chris Paul and hampered Blake, I think they're going to win that next series no matter who they play, because they still got a very good team. This just gives Steph more time, man. This
series is going to go deep now.
Yeah, but they still going to be favored over. They're going to be favored over either one of these teams now.
The difference maker is Chris Paul in the series, because you see what he's done to Damian Lillard in terms of he's the only guy who can contest him on the defensive end and put pressure on him on the offensive end. The fact that they had to put Harkless on him in this game, so you can imagine what he would have done. You would have had to put Klay Thompson on Chris. In the next round if that was happening.
Well, Blazers may very well win this series right now, which is tied up at 2 games apiece after 4 games of it. Here are the way the highlights go for tonight's game between the Blazers and the Clippers. And Damian Lillard.
He's loose.
Feeling it.
If I was good as him, I'd be feeling it too.
And there's Chris Paul. They're trying to take a 3-1 lead in this series. And Chris Paul
And I've said, I think Chris Paul's the best leader we got in the NBA. I feel so bad for him, man. He's just a great player and a great person, too.
12 in the first quarter for CP3. Damian Lillard, coming off his 32-point performance in Game 3, takes it all the way to the rim.
You know, Portland played with great energy. You know, they felt in their hearts that they're not out of it. That's how they played. Bad pass by Blake right there.
And it's going to wind up in the hands of Allen Crabbe, who's got the wide open three and doesn't miss.
This team plays tremendous effort. You know, we talked about that at halftime.
And I honestly thought this was going to go back 2-2 regardless, but you know, this just shuts it down.
Yeah.
How good has Mason Plumlee been in this series?
The player of the game, Ernie. 14 rebounds, 10 assists.
Tell you what, man,
He changed the game.
that family is unbelievable.
47-43, the halftime score. And there is the play again with Chris Paul.
He looked at it right away, too, Ernie. He knew something was wrong.
J.J. Redick off the mark with a three, and you saw Paul looking at the hand, and
right
again.
there, caught in the jersey.
He knew it right away.
So Chris Paul leaves the floor.
You can just tell, Ernie, I've been in this situation where you know where you really hurt. He knows it right now that it's bad. When he starts kicking stuff, you know.
Yeah, you can't.
I've had minor injuries and I've had major injuries, and you know when it's major.
Blake Griffin, top of the key, knocks it down, three-point game. And then Jeff Green in a 66-61 game.
He played very well tonight.
The three that beats the Horn.
He's going to have to step it up even more.
66-64, we go to the fourth quarter. McCollum.
Oh. Bang, bang.
I'm not ready to do it right now, Ernie, but I might have to adjust my backcourt rankings.
What do you think they are?
I tell you what, my guys in Toronto have been playing awful. I might have to drop them from number 2. They got to play better.
Damian Lillard, open three. Blazers up 12. And how about the night for Al-Farouq Aminu?
Ooh, good call, Ernie. Good highlight to pick up. But you see what they're doing without LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well,
no one thought.
Well, no, but don't forget Nicholas Batum. What's the kid in Dallas' name? Wes Matthews. I mean, and Robin Lopez. I mean, I tell you, without 4 starters, for them guys to make the playoffs, great job by those guards. You got the most improved player, McCollum. Great job by Terry Stotts.
98-84, series tied at 2. Al-Farouq Aminu, 30 points, 10 rebounds. That's a career high. Postseason, regular season doesn't matter. Went for 11 for 20, 6 out of 10 from deep. And now Game 5 of this series will be in L.A. Wednesday night on NBA TV. Game 6 be back in Portland. We're all tied up at 2 games apiece, and the Clippers now without Chris Paul and with a re-injured Blake Griffin in a series that is all knotted up. When we come back, OKC back home trying to close out the Dallas Mavericks with the San Antonio Spurs waiting for the winner of that series.
Inside the NBA, presented by Kia, is brought to you by Kia, official automotive partner of the NBA.
The NBA app is the best way to stay up to date on scores, stats, and breaking news. Download it now and get an all-access look into all things playoffs. Biggest story tonight, Chris Paul's injury, and Doc Rivers has addressed that in the postgame press conference.
Doc, just to double check, did Chris fracture his hand guarding Gerald Henderson?
Well, Robert, I didn't see the play. I just know he fractured his hand. So he'll get evaluated tomorrow, but it obviously doesn't look very good for him.
Okay. Blake's quad is acting up again.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious. What's the deal with him right now?
It doesn't look great for him either. We'll see that tomorrow. So.
What happened with Blake? It just started getting sore. And
Yeah, he said he planted on one move. Actually, he said he felt great, and that's the one thing he said because I felt great out there, and he said I planted and I felt something. We're not sure with Blake yet. I think he'll get evaluated tomorrow when we get back. I would say, 50-50 on the next game with him. I expect him to be back, but we don't know that yet, so I don't want to say much.
Glenn, does the momentum going into Game 5 concern you with the Blazers on a 2-game?
Oh, we're going home. All they've done is won 2 games at home, just like we won 2 games at home. So, we've been in adverse situations all year with guys out. Guys have come through, and I expect us to do that at our place.
Doc, I know it's really soon after the game, but can you get any sense of the mood of this team? Is there any sense of shell-shocked?
Well, they're just there's no shell shock, Scott. What it is they love their players, their teammates, and Chris is taking this very hard. He's worked all year to get back to the playoffs, and for this to happen to him, he's a very emotional guy, and so I think our guys, it's a neat family, and it's things that you don't ever see, like you guys will never see. But it was a nice thing in the locker room. Everybody, the whole team was in the training room, and it's nice in that way. But the reality is, you don't have Chris Paul.
Okay. Obviously, Doc knows very well the adversity this team has faced this year and how they rallied when they lost Blake Griffin. But when you lose Chris Paul,
they rallied because of that guy right there.
That's exactly right.
Blake is a hell of a player, but as I keep saying over and over, this guy's the best leader in the NBA. He's a hell of a player. I root for this guy. This is it's just sad. It's just awful, to be honest with you.
And he talks about that special bond on that team, Shaq. But I mean, take me down that road. I mean, if you see Griffin and Paul out in a playoff game, how much rallying around can you do? I mean, at some point, losing those 2 key pieces is huge.
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely 2 valuable pieces. You just have to still be professional. You still have to go out, just try to have to perform at your best. A lot of people don't understand, in Blake's situation, when you're out for 2-3 months, there's no way to emulate playoff-style basketball. You can go to the gym, you can swim, you can do cross-training, you can do yoga. There's really no way to emulate how this game is played. And, tonight he was getting banged up, he was getting thrown around. I think he put a little bit of extra stress on that left quad. But if those 2 guys are out, other guys are definitely going to have to step up. But I don't, the series to me is still up for grabs. I know, these guys now are, shifting to Portland, but Doc makes an interesting point. We're going home. Other guys got to step up. Jeff Green got to play better. Jamal Crawford got to have a hell of a game. And Reddick got to shoot the lights out of the ball for them to have a chance, especially at home.
But I think what Doc was saying, it was more about Chris Paul. No disrespect to Blake, because Blake's been out. But, everybody knows Chris is their leader. And that team feeds off his leadership and energy night in, night out. And I bet it was emotional. He's talking about a regular person can't understand what it's like when you're on a team, number one. But when your leader gets hurt, it's a traumatic thing.
But you still got to step up.
You understand that, but
Golden State stepped up yesterday.
Well, that's just relax for a second. But when you lose the leader of your team, there's a reason Steph Curry was crying yesterday. It's emotional, and that's no disrespect to the regular public. But when you lose a star player, man, it's traumatic for your team. And you got to feel bad for that guy right there, because he's just a great player. He's a great leader. And things were thinking about Ernie, 24 hours ago.
We were watching video of Steph Curry limping out 24 hours ago, and now we're watching Chris Paul with his arm in the sling and some type of bandage or cast or something there on the right wrist.
Yeah, the one thing that, with Golden State, they can play a similar style of basketball if Curry's not in, which will enable them to hold the fort down till he comes back, in the sense of possibly winning a series or, winning games. But Chris Paul creates the style a little bit differently, even more than Steph Curry for them. He creates the style. So now, if you say, who's going to be in there, and Austin Rivers, now you have to do it, and Prigioni, you have to create a style of play, it makes it too difficult in that regard. Whereas, I just feel that, Livingston could come in and keep the pace that they play at and keep guys in their natural position. These guys cannot play pick and roll basketball.
No.
The way Chris Paul can. So they rely so much on pick and roll where Golden State doesn't rely on pick and roll, so you could still kind of play that style without Steph Curry.
And I told you, Livingston to me is the best, most important sixth man in the NBA. You said Jamal Crawford, he's a terrific offensive player, streak shooter. Cantor is a great, great offensive player. But Livingston is, to me, there's a drop-off between him and Steph. But those guys with the Clippers, that's a really like a Grand Canyon type drop off. Like there's nobody can.
How is DeAndre going to score?
Yeah,
in the sense because he's going to rebound and block shots. But he makes every basket for DeAndre in terms of, I would say 80% of his baskets come from Chris Paul.
But the point I was trying to make is when one of your brothers step down, you still have to step up and perform. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, but
you're right.
You're right. But there's
Golden State did that yesterday. But they could have folded. The game was tied.
Yeah, but that's not the same. The point we're trying to make is, Kenneth's point is like, Prigioni.
Coming off a pick and roll is not clear and present.
And let me tell you something.
That's not clear and present danger. Sean Livingston coming off a pick and roll is clear and present danger. But also, so he's still dangerous coming off where this guy is not as dangerous, so you don't have the same, or Austin Rivers, they don't have the same
cachet.
So you don't have to play them the same way.
And the one thing you also have to remember, Shaq, is it's all about respecting the guy. Damian Lillard, when he comes on the court, when he see Chris Paul, he like, oh, I better bring my A game. When he sees Prigioni, he's going to be saying, this dude is in trouble. I mean, that's the difference when you go. There's such a drop-off. If he sees Livingston, he's like...
He's even more aggressive.
Yeah.
No.
Prigioni.
He's more aggressive.
Yes, and he's already aggressive.
Yeah, when you see barbecue chicken, what do you do? That's all I'm saying.
There you go. Game 5, Wednesday in Los Angeles. With the San Antonio Spurs waiting for the series winner, the Mavs and Thunder hit the floor in OKC for Game 5 Monday night, where a week ago, Dallas stole Game 2. Otherwise, it's been all Thunder. In fact, in their 3 wins, Oklahoma City never trailed, winning by 38, by 29, and 11 in a series punctuated by 9 technical fouls and a flagrant 2 that ended Kevin Durant's night in Game 4. To the peak we go for Game 5, and there is Durant, who would light it up in this one. So would Russell Westbrook, who had 13 points in the first quarter.
Tell you what, Mark Cuban don't think he's a superstar.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. He can play on my team anytime.
Dirk Nowitzki passes Scottie Pippen for 14th on the all-time playoff scoring list.
Honestly, Chuck, there's only about 4 unguardable players in the NBA, and he's one of them.
Yes.
Unguardable.
You know what's really
There's no way. He's probably 2 on the list.
Yeah, but you know what's really ironic about all the injuries the last 48 hours, 24 hours, basically? The Spurs against Oklahoma City, they would beat both of those teams. That's what's scary. They're going to play in the next round.
You saw Dirk Nowitzki. Now you see Raymond Felton, part of a 22-11 run for the Mavs, and they're in the game. And then Russell Westbrook.
This can't ever happen, Ernie.
Bullet to Durant.
That should never happen.
Durant with 20 in the first half. They're up 68-61 at the break. Been impressed with Justin Anderson in this series. Rookies.
First of all, I like the fact that he came to play, and first of all,
he's a man.
They had a couple chances to win, Ernie.
And he can take a punch.
Westbrook in the third quarter had 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists.
I think they knew right away that they had to end this series tonight.
Andre Robertson up top, and then Westbrook with the 3. Going to the fourth, 93-83. Justin Anderson goes up and catches Enes Kanter right there in the rib cage. Yes, he does, and Kanter was feeling it.
3 days, Ernie.
3 days?
Yeah, 3 days.
He got a few days. He got some time off, though. They don't play again until this weekend.
Mavericks get to Justin Anderson for 3.
I'll tell you what, Justin Anderson and that kid Powell, they got some bright young pieces down there in Dallas.
Dirk's last year, Chuck?
No, I think Dirk's going to play at least another year.
His option on next season, 101.98. Russell Westbrook with a long jumper, 107-98.
Is that going to work versus Spurs, Kenny?
Dallas still not going away. Here goes Dirk.
Well, first of all, Oklahoma City against the Spurs is going to be a knockdown, drag out. I would pay for that.
Yeah. We will talk about that
have to pay for it.
series in just a bit.
I mean, but it ain't many tickets I'd pay for, Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big series.
See, this is where they have to be careful when games are in the 2-minute mark. And if they're close, I'm going with that Spurs all the time.
Late in the game.
So
I talked about the chippy stuff that's going on.
First of all, the
here.
guy got punched in the face last game. I got no problem with him doing that.
Thank you.
I told that we said that last night, Ernie. Somebody hit you in your face, you hit them back in the face.
Touch him up.
14-point game, 27 seconds left. I don't know why exactly Westbrook was still in there.
That's a good point, but they owe him that. Because he got clocked last game by Durant. Payback for what, Jack? Oh, you can't say that on TV.
118 to 104 is the final score. The Thunder win the series in 5. And in the series, they were plus 60 from three-point range and out-rebounded Dallas by 60. Mavs, since they won the title in 2011, have not won a series. 0-4 in the first round.
Because they got rid of Tyson Chandler, who's a great player. I love Tyson Chandler. Should have never let him go.
Let's get more on the clincher from Lewis Johnson.
You missed the playoffs last year, and now you're back. What's burning inside you this playoff series?
Oh, man, to be honest, I just got to relax. I was a little too amped this whole series. Tonight, I just tried to relax and let the game come to me and play my normal game. And tonight, I was pretty good. So, I just need to calm down, man. I was excited to play in the playoffs. It's been a long time, but our guys came out and we did a great job.
We don't like losing. We're a championship organization, and we pride ourselves on competing for championships. But if you do your best, you can't get it done. That's something you're able to live with.
I always said I want to retire at Mavs, especially after we won the championship a few years ago. There's no reason to go anywhere unless, the Mavs are rebuilding. I always said that the last couple of years. I never want to be a part of a rebuilding it. Next season I'll be 38. But as long as we go for it, and every summer we add guys and keep competing, and then I'll be a Mavs for the rest of my career.
Were you aware of Mark Cuban's comments before the game when he said Kevin was the only superstar on this team, and how do you react to that?
Hold up. He's an idiot. Don't listen to this. He's an idiot. All right, that's what we got to say about that.
Well, if you want to get Mark in here to talk to you guys, you're welcome to. You're welcome to. Yeah, there's 3 superstars out there. Westbrook, Durant, and Nowitzki.
Well, I didn't hear it, but I'll tell you this. I'm really, really happy he's on my team. I wouldn't trade him for anybody.
Your buddy Cuban said before the game, I'm sure you heard, that Russ is not a superstar. Your reaction?
I'll take him. I'll definitely take him.
Yes, Mark seems to be in the minority on that that opinion on Russ. Hennessy never stop, never settle. Third playoff meeting in the last 5 years between San Antonio and Oklahoma City. The previous 2 were in the Western Conference Finals. They each won one of those, and Game 1 is going to be here on TNT, and it's going to be Saturday. The time to be announced. Split the season series. Wow. Durant and Westbrook averaging 27. Kawhi Leonard averaged 28. Aldridge 14. Oh my goodness! So this is certainly one of those when you looked at the playoff possibilities, and kind of a mouth-watering Western Conference semifinal between San Antonio and Oklahoma City. Your gut at this point as they get started on Saturday?
I'm going to have to lean towards San Antonio. The system has never failed them. Duncan is a little older, but you replace him with Aldridge. Aldridge has been having a pretty good postseason so far. They rarely make mistakes. They've been here before. They know what it takes. And I think they're on the mission to get that number 6. They will definitely be ready. And I'm going to have to go with the Spurs for now.
What's going to be the key to that series, Charles?
The last 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the game. Oklahoma City has more talent than any team in the NBA. But they make so many mental mistakes down the stretch. They start playing. Ernie, it was interesting watching that game tonight. Like, they passed the ball to each other the first half, but still tonight when the Mavs made their run, they started playing a lot of hero ball. Listen, I know I'm going to be in the minority. I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go with Oklahoma City. I think they've given away all these leads in the fourth quarter doing stupid stuff.
Well, and that's why it's surprising to hear you say you're going to go that way against a team like San Antonio that makes you pay for that.
I know that, but I'm just saying there's going to be...
Going against your guy Kawhi.
Because...
I'm just asking.
Because I think he's going to have his hands full with KD. Mm-hmm. And I think the big bodies of Oklahoma City are going to wear down the Spurs. Because LaMarcus is a terrific player, but Ibaka can handle him one-on-one.
No way.
Ibaka can handle LaMarcus.
Stop it.
I'm telling you. No way.
I think this is it. To me, this is LaMarcus's Aldridge time to shine. This is the reason why they brought him in here, and I think that he knows that. And I think all year I've been saying he's been the most undervalued, underrated star in the league. And to me, I think this is the series that they're going to go to him and they're going to prove it. But I want to touch on that other thing as well. The difference between an all-star and a superstar. Because people's like, well, what is the difference? And for me, I always say there's 5 ways to dominate a game. Scoring, points, scoring, assists, rebounding, leadership, and pace of the game. And then a superstar can do 4 in one night, minimum. And Russell Westbrook can do 4 things and sometimes 5. So he can score, he can assist and rebound, which is easy. But then he can control the pace of the game. So all of a sudden he becomes a superstar. That's the separation. An all-star doesn't do 2 things. He's going to score and rebound one night. He's going to rebound and assist one night. But he can't do 4 things in one night. Russell Westbrook every single night is a superstar because he does 4 things every night.
And reading Mark Cuban's comments, and I think the crux of what he was saying, he reflected on last year. He said if he's a true superstar, then when Kevin Durant is out, you still lead your team into the playoffs.
He almost did. He got hurt himself. He almost did.
You know, I don't know about all that. I'm just saying this is going to be a great series. I'm going with the upset because I just think they got too many big guys. Oof. And listen, Kevin Durant, like I said, he's got his hands full because Kawhi Leonard, to me, is the best defender in the world. In my opinion, Draymond Green.
You're saying everything that would make me say that
you're
saying you got the great defender and Kevin Durant's going to have a tough time.
No,
you're saying that they don't do
I'm
well
saying,
in the game.
But he's not.
But that would tell me everything to say the opposite.
But I think they've learned from their mistakes.
Okay.
But I think they got too many big guys for the Spurs. I do. That's just my personal opinion. I think they're big guys in a 7-game series with Cantor, Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams.
But you got to use them in the fourth quarter.
So OKC is going to win in San Antonio where the Spurs were 40-1.
No way.
No way. Wait, listen, first of all, I could be wrong.
And Popovich. You just disregarded the Popovich.
No, I think Popovich is arguably the greatest coach.
Against a coach who arguably, Billy Donovan's a great coach, but his first time in there.
All right, listen, man.
First time. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing all the things that you would make you say the other way.
I'm just saying.
What makes you say yes? That's what I want to know.
Because I know if I go to Oklahoma City, I'm going to get some big old steaks. I know if I go to San Antonio, I'm going to get some big old women.
Okay, there you go. All right, so it's big old women versus big old steaks.
Before we go to break,
I want big old steaks.
Let's put the wraps on the Dallas Mavericks. And what do you think? Shaq brought it up before. What do you think about Dirk?
In terms of
next year.
Oh, he's got to play next year. He has enough left in the tank to play one more year. I think overall, Mark Cuban has done a great job of putting correct pieces around where he still can flourish and doesn't have to be so dominant. He can come in, get you 15 to 17 points a game, and he's probably going to add one thing. Think if Chandler Parsons wasn't even playing this year. They still had injuries to Darren Williams. So guys who could have helped him out even a little bit more.
Well, it's probably just going to be a farewell tour like it was for Kobe. I mean, the Mavs are a decent little team, but they're not going anywhere. They can't add enough pieces to be contenders. But it's a great farewell to one of the greatest players.
Might get Kevin Durant as a free agent after tonight.
Still to come on Inside.
Oh, Russell Westbrook.
The only game in the East on Monday night. Game 4 in Charlotte, Heat and the Hornets.
Yes, he's not in the sweepstakes. The Kevin Durant sweepstakes.
Skeets, Taz, Lee, and Treya, the starters. They break down what's going on in the NBA each weeknight. And you can catch it on NBA TV. Heat and the Hornets playing Game 4. And Nick Batum's got the boot off, but still unable to play against the Heat. Luol Deng, another good start for Miami.
He's been tough to guard. Ooh, good move.
These guards are sitting limos, man.
They were up 26-19 after one, and then you're looking at a Hornet 21-4 run, which grew to 27-8.
Kenya came to play today.
I'll tell you what, these guys, I'm telling you, they sending some limo for these Miami guards.
Missed him, but he still knocked it down.
48-39. Hornets trying to tie the series, leading at the break. Al Jefferson against Hassan Whiteside and gets around him.
He's just not going to call traveling.
Or not realize he's going to go right.
They're up by 18, and here comes a 17-1 run by Miami.
Oh, big shot right there.
E. Wade. And then Wade feeding Whiteside. And all of a sudden, 2-point game.
Whiteside has been not played well in Charlotte. He has not been a factor.
Look at Kemba.
Come on.
Getting to the rim. It was a 62-61 game, and then a 7-0 run for the Hornets. Jeremy Lin.
Man, them
guy came to life the last 2 games.
No, Jeremy Lin can play, man. I
had a good year.
I always like Jeremy.
They're up by 8 going to the fourth quarter. So Justice Winslow, and then
got him.
You got to step up.
He'll take it off the window.
I like the way he let people know it was just love. Yeah, I like it. They counted, though.
75-66. Miami coming back with another run of their own. 9-1, capped by Gerald Green for 3. 1-point game. And then Kemba Walker scored 11 straight Hornets points.
Wow. Why are you cheating down on him?
I have no idea.
Come on, man. You can't leave that guy with the house on fire.
Miami's not done. D. Wade. Tough.
Oh, big shot. Wow.
87-84. And it's 87-85.
Gotta get this rebound. Gotta get this rebound.
Oh, it's going to be Courtney Lee who gets it and draws the contact and knocks down a couple of free throws to ice it. And his airness is loving it, and they're loving it up there in Time Warner Cable Arena.
There's some sneakers up here, Mike.
You know, this is the first time since 2002, round 1 against Orlando, that Charlotte's won consecutive playoff games, and they even the series 2 games apiece, 89-85. Miami averaged 119 points in the 2 games at home. They've averaged under 83 in their 2 games in Charlotte. Rebecca Harlow worked it for us.
How did you guys play smarter down the stretch?
We kept the ball in front of us and we didn't foul. Made them make tough ones. They did, but we stayed together at the end of that game. Got some stops, got some huge rebounds and some big baskets.
This is more felt more throwback, old school Eastern Conference basketball. Both teams shooting under 40%. A lot of physical plays out there, and who could endure and make the last few plays, and they were able to make those last few plays.
The game has been so tough for us, especially here in Charlotte. We got to be able to get stops. That's more importantly, and try to tone their guards down and Kemba and Lin. We got to try to find a way to slow them down a little bit.
Kemba, he's a handful of the pick and roll. There's only so much you can do with that little guy. I mean, he's crafty, he's shifty, but then he raises up to shoot. He finishes very well, so he's played 40-plus minutes. We're trying to tire him out. Our bigs are doing a job tonight. He got it going.
Jeremy, when Kemba's in that mode where he's hitting shots and he's kind of taking over late, what's it like to be around him? Does he change at all?
Yeah, it's awesome because I just sit there and watch and catch my breath, honestly. When you hit those 3, 4, whatever straight possessions, I was just chilling in the corner the whole time.
Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. You're looking at the 2 guys who carried the Hornets in the fourth quarter, scoring 18 of their 20 points. And boy, what a night for Kemba Walker. 34 on 13 of 28 shooting, 2 of 8 from deep. And Jeremy Lin with 21. And the Charlotte Hornets lost the first 2 on the road, have tied the series at 2 games apiece. 7? Does it have 7 written all over it, Chuckster?
You know, I don't know, Ernie. They've got to find a way to slow them guards down, and they got to find a way to get off to a better start in Miami. Remember, they've been out the game basically at the end of both first quarters in Atlanta. In Miami. That's the number one. That's the number one thing they got to concentrate on, getting off to a good start.
Going 6, Ernie.
Game 5, Wednesday, down there in South Florida. When we come back, the MRI results on Steph Curry. How long the Warriors will be missing the league's MVP. And you will hear from Blake Griffin. Obviously struggling in the postgame as well. We'll be back. Wow.
The quest for the Dunk King begins after Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on TNT.
I promise you, I will be Dunk King.
Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets don't resume their best of 7 until Wednesday when Game 5 is played at Oracle in Oakland. It's a closeout game for Golden State, but Steph Curry won't play. In fact, he won't play for a while. He had an MRI on Monday, and Allie LaForce has the details.
While this Golden State Warriors team is devastated to have lost their star player yet again to injury, the mood here in Oakland is cautiously optimistic because a grade 1 MCL sprain means that Steph Curry can avoid surgery and potentially rejoin his team before the playoffs are over.
When we say 2 weeks to return to basketball activities, but if it's not 2 weeks, don't go crazy. If it's before, that'd be great. If it's after, it's after. His body will dictate what he's capable of doing. But the good thing is he's not unstable. He's mechanically sound. So you're able to explore different things and see how your body reacts. Ultimately, I feel bad for him as a person because he does everything the right way. He embodies what's good about athletes, what's good about the NBA. And when you see an athlete, when you see someone you know, what they love to do, they're not capable of doing, there's a sadness.
How can this team still win a championship without Steph Curry?
I believe in our team. I believe in our coaching staff. I wouldn't count them out, but I'm not great at making predictions. I didn't think we'd set the record. I think I said it was going to be impossible. So, as someone else, it's important what the players think, and they believe in themselves. I believe in them. The coaches do. So, we're lucky to have the group that we have.
So whatever motivation and focus this team had in the second half of Game 4, they will need that same motivation and focus to carry them through until Steph is able to return to the lineup. In Oakland, I'm Allie LaForce.
So Steph could be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Those playoff games with the Rockets had the head contusion last year, Game 4, and then the ankle in Game 1, the knee in Game 4. Bob Myers was asked that question, Shaq, can they win a championship without Steph Curry? What's your answer?
It's going to be tough. I still like the system they use to play. You know, Steph is an incredible player. He hits demoralizing shots. He hits great shots. He gets evaluated in 2 weeks, which means no treadmill, no MRI. So it's going to be very tough for him to come in and play a playoff-style basketball. But I like the way they play. If they step up like they step up against Houston, they still have a chance. But winning the whole thing, I'm not sure yet. I don't know yet.
Well, we can't answer that question, Ernie, because everything flipped tonight with this injury to Chris Paul. I don't even think they could have beat, if Chris Paul's healthy and Blake is healthy, I don't think they could have beat the Clippers. But now, this is going to give him more time, because they're going to be favored if they play against the Clippers or the Blazers, they're going to be favored the next series. So now that gives Steph really like 3 weeks basically. So I think that everything flipped in their favor tonight, because the next round of playoffs is going to be at least 2 weeks. And that's before, and you don't just walk off the street and start playing NBA basketball. So if you talk about can they win the championship, this was a great night for the Golden State Warriors, because they're going to be favored in that next series. And like I say, now he's going to have probably 3 weeks before the conference finals start. It depends on how long the next series goes. This first series where Portland goes, but also next series, man, this was a great night for the Golden State Warriors. So if he can come back in 2 to 3 weeks, they're in the conversation again.
Well, the matchups, favor Golden State without Steph Curry, even against Portland, fully loaded, and/or the depleted Los Angeles Clippers. So it still favors them, the matchups, because what they have left still equals what these guys have. Because if Steph Curry probably wasn't there, they would have been a 6-7 seed, without him if he wasn't there the whole year. So they match up well with these types.
But do you agree with what I said earlier? If they were playing the Spurs, Oklahoma City in the next round.
They'd be going home.
Yeah.
They'd be going home.
Meantime, if you're just joining us, Chris Paul broke his hand tonight for the Clippers, and Blake Griffin aggravated the left quad injury. We've been through the Paul situation already. You heard Doc Rivers talk about it. Blake Griffin at the podium a short time ago.
Was it just the same area getting sore again after you planted and felt something?
Yeah, it's the same area, I don't really know, just after I planted off my left and get reevaluated tomorrow and go from there.
How would you evaluate your chances to play in Game 5?
I'm not sure. Like I said, tomorrow I think we'll take a better look and hopefully go from there. Hopefully in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, you turn a corner and feel better. So I'm not really concentrated on how I felt tonight. That's kind of expected after you tweak something.
We have to take a very collective approach. Everybody has to do a little more. I mean, we've been in this situation before. We played for a lot of stretches without Blake this year. I think Blake, I'm not saying he's gonna be out, but he's obviously feeling something in his quad. And 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we had to play for a long stretch without Chris. So, and last year in the playoffs, first 2 games in Houston, we had to play without Chris. So we've done this before. It's got to be a collective effort.
Major blow. I just feel bad for him personally because I know how much he puts into the game and how much he gives himself for the team. So, we get Blake back, we lose Chris, and tough deal. Obviously, we'll probably bring out a different playbook and things of that nature. So, for us, as tough as it is, we'll just have to go with what we got and try to get it done.
Man, I hate this part of the playoffs. Hate talking about star players injured and teams not being at full strength, but that is the nature of the beast, I guess. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on Inside. Got some fishing to do. Got some teams heading to the old fishing hole.
Inside the NBA, presented by Kia, is brought to you by Kia, official automotive partner of the NBA.
Chuckster, NBA on TNT's got its own YouTube channel?
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Do we get a cut of that?
No, not at all. They just taking us and using us.
Come on, man. Y'all got to start paying us for stuff like that.
You get paid for YouTube.
Oh, y'all don't get paid?
Think
No.
know that?
No, I do.
Shaq and I do.
Back to the food. Ernie, you look just like my man Jim Carrey back when he was first
Time for EJ's Neo Saturday Night. Presented by no one.
Yeah, we got some fishing to do.
Send them fishing, Ernie. Let's send them fishing.
I can't do that. Shaq can do that. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Ernie. Who is sending fishing today?
Let's send the Pistons fishing first. They were that was the first stop on your trip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ohio.
I
Is
mean,
that Eminem in there?
Eminem, Stevie.
What, that's Kenny? Magic in the back.
Yeah, no.
And that's our buddy Bert Bondi and his nephew. Big Piston fans there in the water with their life jackets on.
Bert Bundy. We call him house husband around here to Megan Bundy.
Oh, man. Old man.
Look at all the...
Oh, man. Y'all got to get off Vince Carter, man.
Come on, man. Elvis, we said Elvis fishing, too.
Mike Conley got a full body cast on.
Get well and get paid.
I love that.
Oh, my gosh.
And the Mavericks. Going fishing with
Jordan Spieth. I like him.
Jordan Spieth.
Jerry Jones, one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
I shot JR.
Tommy Heights on the Dirk Nowitzki T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Another inside joke here on Inside the NBA.
Send them fishing every week.
That's it.
That was a full night.
So y'all guys in a couple hours.
It's a early
Did
start.
You start the boat? You never started the boat.
Well, no wonder we're not moving.
You start the boat, Ernie. Take an eye out. There you go, Ernie.
There you go.
You start the boat.
Dinner time on Tuesday. We hit the air 6 o'clock.
We eat dinner at 6 o'clock.
Ernie's got the old school.
Oh yeah. You got to go down to Orange Julius.
Somebody start eating dinner at 6.
There you go.
There you go. Oh my goodness. Another double.
Do it again, Shaq. Do it.
That's absolutely frightening. Here, put that back on there.
Yeah.
Kenny can't wait to go.